you're not going to fall off, I've said this before, off the wagon. Is that the term, or off the train or whatever? I'm not saying you're not going to fall off the train. I'm not saying that it's not going to be hard. Although it's so much more freeing than being on automatic pilot. Right? Just run by, just a trance, right? We're going to surrender. Look, I surrendered. Bennett, we love you. Yes. It's important also to reject what we don't want. And that's what it talks about on page 18. I love referring to the book because the book is so powerful. The power of the word no is tremendous. What you mentally say no to will begin to depart in ways of order, in ways of peace. No. It's okay to get off that train, the train of suffering. It's okay to say no. If your thoughts are running the show and you know when you're choosing, what you're choosing, what thought system, the Course in Miracles calls it ego or Holy Spirit. You know when you're choosing ego, you know you're choosing your wrong mind with the way you're feeling. So if you're not feeling peaceful, what you do at that moment is that you say no. Oh, ego, I am not going to buy into your thoughts. I'm not going to buy into my limited self. I'm going to rise up and I'm going to remember who and what I really am. A perfect child of God, perfect, whole, and complete. Now my question is, are you going to believe that? Are you going to believe that? Here at Unity, we believe that the Christ is in each and every one of us. And the same Christ that exists in Jesus. And our brother Jesus tells us all the time, you can do these things and even better. And when you begin to really believe that, you are free. Because your happiness is not dependent on things external to you. You start to cultivate an inner musculature of happiness that is not dependent on anyone or anything. And let me remind you, the only thing that defines you is God. Not what's your status, not how much money you have in a bank account, not what relationship you're in. No, what defines you is God. And over again, God, the message of God is your truth. That you're perfect, whole, and complete. I struggled with decision for a long time. It comes with my sign. I'm a Libra. Whitening or not whitening toothpaste? I don't know. It's amazing. Like, our sign is known to be undecisive. Although that's just something I began to believe. Right? The truth is, I didn't want to be decisive because guess what? When I decide, and I'm not asking for advice or for somebody else to make the decision for me, guess what? I can't be responsible. So all my life, I had an amazing mother that did the best she could and did everything for me, including made my decisions. So when I read this book, it really hit home because I lived so many years asking my mom what I need to do. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? I would come home and I had a decision to make. Mom, what do I do? Versus making my own decision. And the book says there is a power within you making your own decision. So when I grew up to know enough, I needed to start making my own decisions. I also needed to go to that dark place within me of why I didn't want to make those decisions. I didn't want to be responsible. I didn't want to suffer, although I was suffering. So what I did is I decided, hey, that is what I was. That was an experience in my life of which now I could learn from. And I'm going to be an amazing decision maker. And I'm going to make decisions not by myself. I'm going to make decisions with the power that resides within me. And this is where the juiciness, the deliciousness of this talk is coming from. Within you. The power is within you. And that is so freeing. I call it Holy Spirit voice. That's the voice within me that knows the perfect thing to say, the perfect thing to do. It knows everything. It's a divine intelligence that even the book talks about in its way. A divine intelligence that exists within each and every one of us that's bigger than anything. anything. That's bigger than anything the doctor told you that your cells in your body aren't working. It's bigger than anything in your life, any type of trauma. It's bigger than anything of which brings you to your truth. So we need to cultivate the relationship with this voice and listen. But we must be willing. We must be willing, and our actions must coincide with that willingness. So I am willing. Course in Miracles says, when we have a little bit of willingness, miracles happen. So you're willing, right? I am willing. I am willing to be a powerful decision maker and willing to change my life. Now, this is what happened to me. I wanted that, but I still wanted to manipulate, I still wanted to have my way, and I still wanted to judge. I was watching Oprah and I was watching powerful videos on all my 20s, and I didn't understand why my life wasn't working. Right? Because I was studying this stuff. Why is it not working? Because I wasn't practicing it. Right? I was like, I'm happy, I'm joy, I'm love, but I want to judge. I want to tell off the next person that runs me on the 101. Right? It's not in alignment. We must be in alignment with that truth. It's very important. Another thing that stood out for me in the book is on page 26, and I titled it, "No One Tells You Who You Are." And this is powerful because I know a lot of us struggled with things that our parents might have told us that we're not good enough, etc. And I'm here to tell you that's not the truth. Let's see here. Let no one ever again tell you of your unimportance. Let no one ever tell you of your unimportance. And I know that each one of us, every single one of us here has at some point experienced that. Maybe somebody did not tell you you weren't unimportant, but maybe you've actually told yourself that you are not important. And I'm here to remind you as a facilitator, as being here today and being connected and recognizing my truth and coming back to who and what I really am, that I am important. Because my Father tells me so. And we are so important. And let's let go of whatever we heard. Let's forgive. Let's remember only the love that we received and gave in the past, and all else is an illusion. Let's make the decision to stop suffering. And let's understand that what those people said, or what might have been said, they did the best they could with the awareness they had. Because we're all doing the best we can. And it's never personal to you. You make it personal when you defend it. You make it personal when you suffer about it. But when you're able to disconnect and say, wow, this person's acting the way that they're doing the best they can, and see that what your brother's really done hasn't really happened. Because if only love is real and all this is an illusion. So you ask Holy Spirit at the morning, Holy Spirit, let me see this another way. Let me see my brother through your eyes. Let me see through Christ's vision. Let me recognize my importance. And guess what? As you practice that, you will understand and you will rise up no matter what difficulty is going on, and you will remember who and what you really are. The answer is within you. So when I say the answer is within you, is the Holy Spirit voice. So we must always be asking Holy Spirit, intuition, love, light, whatever word resonates with each person here, for help. If you are trusting in your own power, your body power, your part of yourself that is body, you have every reason to suffer and to be scared. Every reason to. If you're trusting that part of you. But if you trust Holy Spirit voice, that divine intuitive voice, and you ask for guidance at all times, I always say, people say every day or every moment. I say the second within the second. Every single moment, become an observer of your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And you become an observer of it, like the picture, the projector showing you the images you're projecting out there, and you start choosing, wow, I like this, I like that, no, I don't want that, this is yes, this is no. And start to cultivate your happy projection. that to you. Bob can give it to you, even though he's platform assistant today, right? It's your responsibility. But there's so much freedom in that, because then your life is not dependent on everyone else. Guess who's in charge? You are. And there's so much freedom to that. And yes, it does take responsibility. And yes, it does take a lot of letting go. But you are worthy of that. You are worthy of that. Now getting into happiness, as I start to wrap this up, I want to talk about happiness. So I want to ask you, the book asks this, and I think it's very important. Do you actually believe you have the right to be happy? And when I read that, it's like, wow, okay. Do you actually believe that you have the right to be happy? We must really work with that. When I do counseling sessions, I have a lot of people that it's hard for them to say, I am love, I am lovable, or I'm worthy of love. That's what that reminded me of. Right? Course in Miracles says our function is happiness. Our function is happiness. Why? Because when we're being happy, when we're living in our happy, I'm not only being happy for myself, I am being happy for Barbara. Because we're one. I don't contribute to the world waking up in the morning having a poo-poo party. So what I do is, when I start to see myself get sad, I own that sadness. I'm sad, I cry, I let it out, and then I'm back. Sometimes I have to give myself 3 days, like Jesus, crucifixion, and then I come back. Now it's less days. Now it takes me one or sometimes a few hours, right? We must do that. We must realize that we're not only happy for us individually. Like Bob is not just happy for Bob. We are happy for the whole sonship. So you have to understand that when you're being happy, that vibration is actually helping the person in your building, your neighbor, rise up the consciousness. Right? So every time I start to feel sad, I'm like, oh my God, I have to be happy, because I need to be happy for my brothers and sisters, not just for me. So I invite you to make choices in your life that have to do with your happy, so you can live your happy. So your thought in your mind, if you're thinking of happy thoughts, would be, a lot of affirmations here at Unity. We have a lot of them. One of them is, I am always in joy, and I attract joy. That's living your happiness. Now when you say, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, you're not living in that happiness. Your thoughts are not aligned to the I am happy. So I invite you to pick a few affirmations. I actually did one today that Bob will read later, because the speakers give an affirmation for the month, but I'm constantly affirming. Now when I affirm, I'm not just like, affirming. I believe it, and I live that. So what does that affirmation look like? If I'm being that affirmation, who am I being with Eliberto? Right? If I'm doing that affirmation, who am I being with my mom when I talk to him on the phone? Right? Who am I being? So to conclude, and if Tommy could play a little bit of melody for me. I'm going to close with... So I'm going to go over a couple things, and then we're going to close in prayer just to solidify this. So I want you to make the decision. So I want everyone to close their eyes. And I want you to make the decision, as I say these words, to really visualize this in your mind. Make the decision to claim your truth. What does that look like for you? Who are you being when you're claiming your truth, that you are love? Make the decision to ask for guidance. So the affirmation would be, I make the decision to ask for guidance. I make the decision to forgive. I make the decision to let go. I make the decision to surrender. I make the decision to be happy. I make the decision to understand that the power is within me. And I want you just to gently just open your eyes as I say this. I want every one of you to make the decision. This is the most important, to love. Make the decision to love everyone. But most important, make the decision. Make the decision to love yourself. Make the decision to love yourself. Because you are worthy of that. It is our divine right. Because we are love and we always will be. From my heart to your heart, love you.